quick stop. Then we go through the forest. Once we exit the forest, the plan is to take 149 to where Mike's dogs are, Osborne Road, and turn right on Osborne Road because Paul says 1375 is like a baby's behind.
On this ride, I have left Northampton Road into the woodlands, picked up the group at the Alden Village Center. We headed out on research for it. It'd been almost a month since I had done a group ride. I sat in, we filmed Fishcreek, Capitol Hill, Raven Chapel, all the way into Montgomery. Then we stopped filming. We continued after Taco into the forest. Some dog came out and caused a crash on Mount Pleasant Road. So I had to turn back because I had to brake really hard, lost about a 3-inch patch on my tire, just, stopping to avoid the fall. So I came back through the neighborhood with Mike Barrera. The ride originally was supposed to go all the way to Richards. So this film combines the route you're seeing with the ride the following week, my first 2 group rides. I think you will find it very interesting.
It used to be, chip seal. So we'll go on 1375. Then it'll bring us back to 149, but then we'll go up a little bit and take Grissom Trail. All right. English Mike. Good morning, good morning. Come on, don't be shy. Let's go.
Yeah, Mike is joining us. Mike Bradbury. So it's been a while since I had come out on a group ride, probably about a month. And so my plan was to just sit in today.
El Pirata!
I call Laura the pirate because, like Pantani, every time the road goes up, she lifts the pace. So that's her nick. She's got a bunch of nicknames I've given her.
I saw you yesterday as we were leaving Tobacco Road. Yeah. You couldn't help it.
Tobacco Road's a little bump.
It's just...
We're on a very easy recovery ride, and once the road would go up, Laura would just ride up. Mike Barrera schedules a Friday recovery ride every week.
Not overdo it.
Yeah.
I had a tough week and anything else I'll put myself in.
So you can see we're rolling out around 19, 20 miles an hour. I'm sitting in zone 1.
For this weather we have.
I know. Temperature-wise, it's warm, but not.
Got to step out. Yep, that moisture. Yep. And then when we go
we're
north,
talking about
it's cooler
temperature
out there.
Yeah.
It may say 18C, but it's just say 65 or whatever. It feels cooler because we've had a lot of rain. We have high humidity. So these guys are moving 22, 23. So I plan to maximize the draft on this ride and just kind of sit in as much as possible and kind of until I get my legs under me. That's what you have to do. But if you're riding with a group that is just forcing the pace, let's say they're not holding it steady and you just can't keep up, then you have to let them go. But, I've been training for a long time, taking off 3 weeks. Usually the word is every week you take off from cycling, especially at a high level, you need about 3 weeks to get back to where you were. So you have to plan in such a manner. You can't try to rush back. You have to let your form come in. And if that means you ride by yourself, then that's what it means. It doesn't take me long to get in shape because I know
80 miles, everybody gets scared. And when I tell people, sit in.
Yeah.
Just sit in. Because you can cover more ground in a group.
So we had planned to go to Richards on this ride, but the dog interfered with the pace off camera. So we had to split up the group. I had to brake really hard to avoid running over the rider who had fallen and my tire left a patch on the road. Basically just chewed it off to where you can see all the fibers and stuff. So I decided to not chance it by going further out. So I came back in and I made it home okay, no problem. Basically just had to chuck that tire. You always want to keep spare tires in your inventory because you're going to need them. It's a matter of when. So you're not running to the local bike shop and paying top retail prices.
I came to that ride yesterday. Normally it takes me an hour. It took me 50 minutes. Because the fixed gear is one gear.
Yeah.
So you're working so much harder.
Yep.
And you can't coast.
Yeah, it changes things. Well, that's how Mike trains on his. There's a certain point where so many months he won't let himself ride anything but the fixed gear.
Yeah. It's just, I was so tired after those rides. It's like, man.
Is this bike?
So we're doing 20 miles an hour,
I have a track
and
bike. Yeah, I have a track bike.
I'm chatting.
It's just the wheel
you
and
can
the
see
chain.
the watts,
yeah,
about 200.
That's
so
what makes it so that the cog is fixed.
this is the
and then you
pace
have to
I
get
normally train
the chain
at
size
for my
correctly.
zone.
That's what Mike does. Gotta take off the derailleur and just put that on there. Yeah, it does. You can't stop pedaling.
Yeah, no. He spins like I tell you, he's like a hamster.
Exactly. Sometimes he spins really too fast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about carrying a high cadence. We're talking
me
about, winter
get going
training. People
quicker.
use fixed gears and so forth.
Yeah.
You want to teach your body to be efficient. There's no point in spinning so high a cadence to where you're inefficient. You're burning more calories than the speed you're getting from it. To where you're just fanning the gear.
Sometimes
and
you
there's
have to
nothing there.
like push if you get a little bump, and then other times you spin more. So I don't use it all the time. I like the Grissom one. It's always quiet.
We're approaching Fishcreek thoroughfare. That's Mike Barreras, all in black, stealth. There's a lot of fog. We have a lot of mist on the road, so the pavement is slippery. So I made sure I let everybody know to slow down in these turns and keep the bike as upright as possible. Because there is no rain, but that little light moisture is just enough to make the road slippery. It releases all the oils that cars put down on the tar, on the pavement, and that can cause you to slide and slip easily. So when it's damp, take it easy and watch your turns. We hit Fishcreek Boulevard. I'm gonna ride up and sit in the grass, save my energy. So we're going through the intersection here at Honea Egypt Community Road on the left. At this point, this road becomes Sendera Boulevard. And in a few kilometers up, it will become Fishcreek.
First week back after almost a month, my goal is to just sit in.
So once you've been training,
start riding again.
yeah, Mike said he's gonna start riding. It took the winter to where he backed off his effort.
Time to start riding.
There's Paulie Longa out there in front of Alejandro.
Every day, a couple of hours.
Abby's
90
on the
minutes
left
here,
there.
2 hours here with the track bike.
So what I did is I rode frequently
That's what we used to do
and I
back in the
kept my
day.
effort
Our fixed gear bike in the winter.
in a certain
Get a
range
track bike,
to get my
put a brake
fitness
on
back
it.
up quickly.
That was
As we descend this bridge, I think Mike Barreras is going to drop a bottle. Somewhere around here. All that mist. There, I don't know if you saw it. The bottle is bouncing. But in a little bit, it's going to hit the road. I use my speed so I don't have to slow down. I'm descending real fast. I just kind of coast. You can see 0 watts. And now I'm going to slip on the back again. In a little bit, his bottle's going to hit the road, and I'm going to turn around and go get it.
Whoa!
Right there.
You dropped your bottle.
So I check for traffic. So I turn around. As I turn around, Mike Barreras has also turned around. He's coming up on the shoulder. You'll see the bottle in a little bit. It's one of these aero bottles, real slick, right there. The good thing is no car used that lane, so it's still there. He's gonna pick it up. I see him right there, so I'm gonna turn. The road is very slippery, so I'm holding the bar.
Everybody watch the corners. It's that dude.
I've got the camera in my left hand, but I'm not letting go of the bars as I turn because you see the road is very slick. He's back there. He's got the bottle. The group is waiting for us up the road.
So it probably got some moisture on it? Who knows?
Probably. Yeah, I need to add some friction in there.
So you think the bottle got some moisture and then it slipped out of the cage.
Not rough. So that means when it starts bouncing.
So the group's right there on the right at the light.
Okay.
Let them know, let's go. They're all standing on the right in that median, the little turn triangle.
Yeah, he dropped the bottle.
I use a metal cage on my bike. It really grabs the bottle. I don't lose bottles. It's a titanium cage, it's solid. And the bottles I get, they fit in the cage very well. So I will tell Darren about it, and Darren knows something that Mike can use to help his bottle be more firm in that cage. He says it's kind of slippery. I saw it bounce before it even fell when we're coming down the hill. It kind of lifted every time he'd hit a little bump.
Yeah, I saw that jerk up there. He came by me
There was
too.
some car that just passed real close to Darren. That's what we're
Just
talking
ignorant,
about.
that's all.
Like there are two lanes that act like somebody willed them the road.
He dropped a bottle. That bottle's kind of slick. It just slipped out of the cage. He's got that arrow-shaped bottle.
That was wrong.
So he says he's going to put some Velcro on it. Because, you know, the moisture probably got on it.
So he's trying to create some friction.
Yeah, it just slipped out of the cage. Because I told him, I said, the road's not even rough. Yeah. You get on a rough road, it's going to bounce out.
Yeah. Well, it might do a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting on Darren's wheel. The group is coming up. There they are. It's one of those days where it's mild enough to where you don't need to cover your legs, but you need to cover your arms and your torso. So I've got a base layer on and my arm warmers with that Aero jersey. So we're riding right around 18 miles an hour, almost 20, let's say 19. The group's coming up. I'm not sure what took them so long. I think we're coming to an intersection in a little bit. So once you ride with a group, you always end up eventually working a little harder than planned, at least at some part of the ride. You have to decide if the emphasis of your ride is in a certain zone. You don't want to spend too much time outside of that. So right now this pace is fine as far as I'm concerned. It's keeping me zone 2 to tempo, you know. We had a few riders on the ride that.
Hey, Mike.
That's Abby. We had a few riders I was not familiar
Darren
with.
knows a product that you can use better than Velcro. Check with him.
So instead of putting Velcro on the bottle, Darren said there were other things you could do to make the bottle have more friction in the cage. The carbon cages and these plastic bottles, you know, you hit a pair of railroad tracks or something that's a little bumpy, they can come out. And not just those. A lot of people lose bottles from time to time. So I slip in on the back here to keep my effort minimal. That's what you have to do. And as the road goes up, this is a bump here. As the road goes up, yeah, you have to be willing to do a little work for a while and then get back in. So my goal here is to take no pulls. We're at this point in the ride, we're approaching the overpass. You can see visually, you can see the road going up. This is Fishcreek, right outside of past Reach Lake Shores, coming towards 2854 interchange. So you have to use the draft. I had to work a little harder and get outside my predetermined zone because we went on a long gradual grade and now we're beginning this overpass. So all I'm going to make sure I do is stay in the wheels. So even if you're trying to do that and you're trying to keep your effort reasonable, if the group attacks or if people attack arms in a situation like this, you don't have to go with it. Just keep your effort steady. So I went a little harder than I had originally planned just to get over that overpass, and then you use this now. Catch your breath, you know, spin your legs, relax. This one I'm just coasting. And when you haven't been riding for a while, the biggest thing that takes the brunt of it is your lack of recovery. Your recovery is not as fast as when you're very fit. So when you do a hard effort, your heart rate stays up longer. So you just got to be able to tolerate that. I think Laura had been pulling. She's coming to the back.
Go ahead, Laura. Go ahead. All right, come on. Left turn.
So because of the mirror in the lower on my bar end, I can see the traffic without having to turn around. And so I was able to let them know when it was clear. We're going to turn on Capitol Hill Road. Now, you know, the group is not really hammering on this particular ride. It's fairly steady. So that's one of the reasons I'm hanging at the back. If it were faster, I would move up. And I think in a little bit, the pace would pick up once we get on Raymond Chapel and so forth. Because being way back, when something happens at the front, you're kind of out of the action. And you got to work hard to get into the action. So you don't want to always be the last guy. There are times when it's not the best place to be. But right now, there's not a whole lot going on. We're just kind of rolling. I have not put on my glasses because it is misty and gray. Not just the fact that the sun isn't out, is the main thing is the moisture that gets on your lenses. So usually I'll wait till things clear up. You know, the fog has burned off a bit. And we're spread out because this road, there's no traffic. It's quiet. We're not really on the stick, so to speak, on the rivet. So people are just kind of spread out. The roads are damp. You can see it. And they're slick. You get that dew on there, and all it does is raises the film of all the oils and stuff that come from cars. And it just makes the road like glass almost. So you just have to make sure you don't lean your bike too much in the corners. If you look at the tire on Laura's bike, it's wet. Even though there's no water on the road, it's just that mist. So that's what makes it slip. It's actually more dangerous than riding in the rain, because the rain, if it's heavy rain, it will wash the road clean. So the road surface won't have that oily film on it. I'm kind of nestled in between Darren and Laura here. He's got a great draft, but we're not going that fast. 16, 17 miles an hour. This is Rabon Chapel Drive, and we turn very carefully. You see that little shine on the corner. Right here is drier than that corner. The corner was damp. So it was a very civilized ride. We kept things up till Taco, very steady. Quite a few of the riders turned around at Taco. And we continue into the forest. Kind of a gray day. I just like being on my bike, so I don't care whether the sun's out, it's cloudy, even when it's damp. When it's damp, I like to ride by myself because I don't want to get the spray of other riders in my face. And I get the appropriate gear, I go out, I stay dry. My feet stay clean, and you still ride. And in fact, when it's raining, the roads are quieter. Most people don't want to get out. But it's nice to be able to deal with inclement weather. So if you ever do an event or Grand Fondo and it rains, you know how to do it.
All Rafa.
I'm telling Paul that Abby's in all Rafa.
Like you said.
This road on the right is called Navajo. From that direction, it's got some nice lumps coming this way.
Guys are actually behaving themselves today.
Yep.
That's a surprise. Nice surprise.
I think everybody wanted to just take it a little easier up to Taco. We're not rushing to Taco today. So it was nice. So if you can find a group that will keep it steady, then you ride with them. It starts getting to be like it's a race and you're not ready to push, then you just kind of let them go. I'm asking about a rider.
Band on his back.
He's familiar, but I didn't remember his name.
Oh, okay. That's the one who wants to be called Pete. Okay. That's got you.
Pete somewhere calls the pound.
Yesterday, exactly.
I'm surprised. We did like 250 watts up that climb. That's a very, very moderate pace.
We haven't even hit rough roads. That's what I told him.
I made a comment that said, let's take you to Whitehall and see how that.
Not even Whitehall. Osborne Road.
Yep.
Where we're going today. If it falls out on Fishcreek, that's it. That's a failure.
Yep.
Don't lean.
I'm telling people not to lean. We're going to be turning right. The road, you can see the shine on the corner. The pavement's very slick. To let everybody know.
That dude has got the road all slick.
Yeah, one of our riders, not from this group that we ride with, Doug's brother.
We can see it.
He fell on a corner riding by himself, and he said, I wasn't doing anything, it's just a regular corner. So yeah, just be aware, it doesn't take much. When the road's damp, those white lines and stuff, they're very slippery. It doesn't take much. This is South Pine Boulevard. It's going to take us to Mill Route. And then after we do that section, the film goes to the ride, I believe 2 weeks after this one, which is on January 6th. This one is the 23rd of December. And then we'll go to January 6th. That was my second group ride. So I had 2 full weeks of training by the time we get to the second ride. This one here was 1 week. I rode my bike. Those of you who saw the film that I did about coming back after 3 weeks. So I had 5 days on the bike before I did this ride. So it takes about 3 weeks for every week you take off, if you're in decent condition, to get back to your top condition you are in. And for most people, you know, you can get there quicker if you do 2-a-day workouts or so forth. And it depends on what you're getting ready for and how much time you have. But you need to give yourself a chance to come into form. Don't force it. You can't force it. It just takes time. Mill ride. There's a hole in the middle of the road. The pavement has been washed away. You see it? It's a deep pothole. I hope when they fill it, they will make it nice and smooth, not just drop a blob of asphalt in there. Makes like a little speed bump. This road never used to have a yellow line on it. The residents here complained because cyclists were taking up the whole road when we come through here. So they came, not only did they improve the pavement a bit, but they put lines on it. So most of these side roads don't have lines. So obviously somebody requested that. We've had cyclists pulled over on this road and lectured by the constables about taking up the entire road. That is just not courteous. It's inconsiderate, and they shouldn't have to have been lectured. You don't need the whole road. Just use what you need. I mean, if you must go over the yellow line to get by, then you get by and get back over because the other road users have to pass. I sit on the right here. The pace is very, very sedate. The group is riding at the pace I normally ride at most of the time when I'm trying to just do some steady work. So it was very civilized today on this ride. The day before Christmas Eve. The eve of Christmas Eve. So you see everybody's riding, people chatting. You can do that on a road like this, a quiet road, residential road. There's not a whole lot of traffic buzzing around. We're riding two abreast, which is good because it shortens the group. If a car does need to pass, we're shorter, they can get around quicker. It's not a busy road, it just makes sense. But you all still need to keep it tight. It's not as tight as if we were going faster, but that's normal when you're just kind of rolling along. But you want to keep your line tight and try to use half of the lane. You see where Paulie Longa is? That's where I would ride if I were on that side. I would not go very close to the yellow line. The road is, this road is narrow. I love this road, canopy of trees. The open road. We're in Montgomery County, Texas. We're very fortunate to have such scenic roads that are relatively close to us. I mean, because I ride from where I live. I don't have to drive anywhere. If I were riding solo, it'd probably take me 90 minutes or so to get out here by bike. Yeah, we didn't hear that car coming. That's another reason you got to stay on your side of the road. It's because if you're predictable, the driver assumed we're going to stay there. Somebody must have lifted the pace. All of a sudden, the line's tightening. See, it just happens automatically. As the pace goes up, the line gets tighter because everybody wants to conserve energy. It's probably Abby. Abby's always going to the front and doing these little sneaky attacks. Little surges. I wouldn't call them attacks. Little surges. I called him my sneaky brother from another mother. We're on a ride. The next one coming up. And he'd only go to the front when the road would go up. And then he'd lift the pace. Just long enough. And as soon as the road levels off, he'll slip back to the back. So we hit 2854 here, and we're gonna go ahead and switch to the ride after this one.
This is my second ride with the group after my time off, and heading up to the start of the ride. It's a little chilly.
This is 2 weeks later.
2 Celsius in the 30s, but it's supposed to warm up to about 8, maybe 15 Celsius by the time we're done anyway. The high is supposed to be 16 Celsius for the day. It's about 60. So, one of those rides where you gotta layer up. She get good clips for you all.
Yeah, we're going into the north wind and it's cold. You see Laura holding her hand. She's dressed very warm.
All right,
but when
guys,
you're
let's head
standing
out.
around, it's 7:30. There's a rider.
7:30.
There's some riders sitting under the canopy
Hey,
to the
John.
right, and
I
then
thought it was a standoff between the Hatfields and the McCoys.
they're like this group versus that group. They're coming. I waved them up.
Doug.
They went under the canopy in front of the
there.
Walgreens on the right there. It's a cold morning.
Abby, for those of you who may not have looked at the route, what I've been doing is I'm going to clean them up. I'm trying to get us on some different variations in the area we normally ride in, but hit some newer roads from time to time. So they may seem similar. So what we're doing today is the standard Spring Branch, and then we're going to go Tri-Lakes, and we'll stop at Mount Moriah, the store there. That's the first stop. Then we go through Mount Moriah and do Johnson, and take it all the way to 1097, turn left, and take Bailey Grove, and come to Taco. 2 stops. Taco the second stop, and then we come home on Ribbon Chapel, Milroy, Ribbon Chapel, and take Capitol Hill to Fishcreek and roll in. So we should enjoy some kind of tailwind there. Okay?
Translation, you're looking for as many dogs that aren't on leashes that are ready to chase them.
Yeah, this route is not so bad for dogs, except after the store on Mount Moriah, down one of those hills. There were 3 dogs one day that kind of came after us, so we'll just look out for that. Yeah,
Where the dog was.
it's hard to say with these dogs, but you know, we'll just do what we can. You know, these owners, it's the owner's fault. It's not the dogs.
Been around.
They just okay.
So we get to know where the dogs are. You know, every now and then new dogs move in, and then some of the old dogs move away or whatever. But you get to know and you try to
Good turnout for
anticipate.
this cold weather.
Yeah, we have a good
I didn't
size
expect
group.
anybody to be here. It's
This
so
is
cold.
2 Celsius.
Yeah,
You know.
this is a good turnout.
I don't want to break my New Year resolution. Just the first.
That's Pedro.
dress very
Pedro's
warm.
on my right. That's Pedro right there. He has balaclava
Yeah,
and
this
everything.
is. I've never cold in here. It's just my nose and my eyes, but I got these for Christmas. This is.
Yeah, that makes a difference. You cover your ears,
Yeah.
cover your chin. It makes a difference. Once you get
Yeah,
riding,
he's got
you'll
flaps
feel
on his
fine.
ears.
It's
And
gonna
a hat with
It'll
flaps.
be
That
in the
makes a
50s
difference.
most of the ride.
Yeah, with the sun out, the sun out is good. Fine. Just
Yeah,
worry about
it is cold.
We should be okay.
So we're leaving the Alden Village Center. This is 2 weeks after the last ride you just saw. We have a couple of riders. I think Abby. I think this is Graham. He's ridden with us before. He goes to the University of Houston. I've got a video of him. He's a speed skater. I got it from Laura. And he's speed skating on inline skates behind a bicycle. And it's really cool to see. I may
Robert,
just
morning.
put it out on the
It
shorts
looks
on the
like
channel.
English Mike up there. Yes, that's English Mike.
Yes, Mike Bradbury is meeting us. He lives in Lake Windcrest.
You've probably
He's a
seen
neighbor to
him.
Mike Barrera.
You probably can't connect the tire, man. I think I lost a patch of my tire.
So we're talking about the ride 2 weeks ago where the dog came out and caused one of our riders to fall. And I had to brake really hard. So I left a patch of tire on the pavement. You know, I
okay.
avoided
Slip behind you.
hitting the guy or falling because I had to modulate my brakes carefully and then braked really hard at the end. You just have to wear the right pieces. Our weather here right now is 2 Celsius, so it's in the 30s. So it's at 30, 34, 35 maybe Fahrenheit. You have to wear things that breathe, and you have to wear layers because it's not one heavy piece that you need necessarily. So the layering effect really makes a difference. Now, I don't play with the cold. I cover my legs and everything because I want to focus on exercising, not trying to keep warm. And later on, the benefit of layering is if it does warm up, you can peel those layers up, roll them up, and worst case scenario, stick it under your jersey if you have no room in your pocket. Sometimes I'll stick things inside my bib tight where it goes over my back, your torso. You can get things in between there if you don't want to stick them in the pockets. But if you're going to be out for many hours in cold weather, you need to dress the part. Cover your hands and your feet. Because if your hands are cold, they hurt. And you just will be focused on that. You won't enjoy the ride at all. So at this point of the ride, we've crossed 1488. We're in the neighborhood that will take us to Fishcreek, and we're going to take Honea, Egypt today, go through the Grand Lake Estates to Spring Branch. So the camera runs until we get to the back gate of Grand Lake Estates. Just wanted to give you all an idea. So if you can find a group that will be within the range of your zone 2, then you sit in, because that will keep you there. I didn't take any pulls on this ride. When I did end up at the front, I would just basically tap out and wave people up. I need about another 3 or 4 weeks under my belt before I can start to really ride like I normally ride. So if you ever have time off from the bike, don't look at it as a negative. Use it as an opportunity to learn what it takes to get your body in shape and how long it takes to get you in shape. So because I know what to do and for how long, I don't worry about it. I just know I got to get these many hours in my legs. The bicycle has one seat. You don't have to do a group ride if they don't meet your need. Use the group to benefit you. You will never find a group that will be doing exactly what you want. You don't want a group that's too slow for you anyway, because you're not going to improve. Might as well ride by yourself. You want a group that will stretch you. So for me, sitting in, I can stay in my lower zones. This time of year, whenever we go north, we're going into the wind, and we come home with the tailwind, unless the day warms up and the wind shifts. Exiting the neighborhood, getting into the open road. This is the quickest way out of town from where we start if we're going north. I think you hear me say left turn. Yep, left turn. We're turning pretty much immediately, so we just go ahead and move into the center turn lane.
Let's go single file, guys.
This is not the place to chat. Let's do this. So this is a busier road than the quiet ones in the ride you saw earlier, or we're in this little neighborhood path. This is this community road has a nice volume of traffic. So we try to do single file here where possible. And in a little bit, the pace will pick up to where it becomes absolutely necessary. This is Mike Barrera in front of me with his U.S. military jersey on. So Mike Barrera is following the traditional training periodization schedule where this time of year he's got set power zones and whatever that he wants to do. So in a few hours he goes ahead and he lets the group go so that he can stay within his power zones. I mean, you know, this time of the part of the ride he's probably choosing to just kind of hang in for now. And so he's doing his own thing. And that's okay too. So when they're going very fast, I can sit in at tempo, at least on this day anyway. And then when I get fitter, it can be a slightly lower zone. So depending on how hard you want to work, even when you're in shape, you don't have to work hard the whole ride. That's the whole point of riding with a group. So that way your quality will be very high when you choose to do the work. So we're moving at a good clip here. We're going into the wind. This is a descent. This whole place, when we're coming the other way, is a nice little sustained grade. I told Mike I said it's a big turnout for such a cold day. He doesn't want to talk right now. We're moving, he's paying attention to what's going on in front of him. Passing. I stay on the right where you see this little indentation where that rider in the black, where you see the guy in the orange, that's Doug. I stay on the right, that's where I'm riding. There is a part of the pavement coming up. It's a bit chippy, it has cracks, it has a lip. That's what he's pointing out. So I stand, they put a little bit of asphalt there to kind of smooth it out a little bit. You've got to read the road. You don't want imperfections in the pavement to surprise you. It can cause you to fall if you don't expect it. I don't care how long you've been riding. Anytime you're on a bicycle, you can fall. And whether, you know, that's the same thing with driving a car. You can always have a crash, or if you're not paying attention or somebody messes up. Same thing on a motorcycle. So don't take anything for granted that, oh, I've been riding for 3 decades and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's always there. there was a rider, the rider that waved at the camera. His name is Graham, I think, and he's in a group here. But what I wanted to talk about was I hadn't seen him in a while, at least a year, let's say. And he comes to the group, and you don't even notice him. He basically observed what everybody was doing, and even though he's in decent condition, he just kind of blended in. Very unobtrusive. That's what you want to do when you hook up with a group. Check them out. Get to know what they're doing. If the pace is easy for you, that's fine. Do the same pace they're doing, just take longer pulls. They will appreciate that until you get very comfortable with their dynamic. But don't just join a group and then try to show off how strong you are. You know, it's like you don't really know what the purpose of the group is at that point. So get to learning. And it was really cool to see that he's got to have, I mean, he's a young guy, but he's got to have some kind of coaching and slash or cycling knowledge to where you just did not really notice that he was there. He was just another cog in the wheel of the group. That's really the way you want to be on your group rides, because it's not a race. So once you get familiar with the dynamics of what that group is doing, then fine, because then you're not going to be like an outlier. If they always bomb this fourth hill or whatever, when they're doing it and you're feeling good, go ahead and take the KOM or whatever it is, because now you know what they're doing. So learn the group first. I just stay a little to the left of Mike's wheel. It seems to be where I'm getting the best draft right now, and this wind is shifting as this road turns. This road does not go directly north the whole time.
You wouldn't make it. Just like there. Oh, okay. How about?
These kind of imperfections like this, these gridded sections here, if you're struggling, and they make you work even harder. See a lot of riders drifting to the back. I think the pace is getting a bit fast. I just stay on the wheel I'm following. This entire stretch of this road is a bit undulating. It's like a false flat, you know, 1 to 2% at most. You got a few bumps. You go around the corner, it might approach 3, but it's mostly false flat to like 1 to maybe 2%. But you're working into the wind. We're getting closer to the Grand Lake Estates entrance
Car back.
to the west. I'll go ahead and leave a gap for Abby. There's a car coming, so he can line up here. These guys can go by. So at 2 Celsius, Abby has nothing over his knees or anything. He always does that. He told me one time, he said, I only cover my legs when I ride at freezing or whatever. And that particular day it was at freezing because I said, that's today. You know, so I've rarely seen him cover his knees. I always cover mine below 65. I don't like to feel cold on the bike. That gate is not forgiving. There's a car behind us. He's going to get close and activate the gate. This guy in the truck. He's going to make it open. He says open. It's like these guys going through this gate.
Let him go by.
So now we're going to tell him to go by, and the guy's going to want to go by, and Abby sits in the lane. He's on the left there, I
Close
think.
it up.
I'm trying to let the guy go by, and that's why people get upset. It's like you're in their neighborhood blocking them. Let him go by. You know, I get annoyed. You hear me talk about
Let
it.
him go by.
Somebody has to call out to Abby to tell him to get out of the way. You heard that? They said, Abby, it's like you're in the way. Let the guy go by.
What the hell is he doing? You sit up there saying car back, and you're blocking the guy. I mean, it's just nonsense.
That's why people get upset.
That's why they get pissed off. It's like, well, what is that all about?
Let the guy go by his
Instead of
business.
saying car back, you sit your butt in front of them. And you wonder why they're pissed off all the time.
Don't block them. Let them go by their business. You know, we're doing what we're at our business. So don't impede them. Let them go. Let them go on by their business. I don't want nobody behind me when I'm riding my bike. Most of the time, I wave them around. Even the drivers that are trying to be nice, like when I'm in my neighborhood, they'll fall back behind you, but they can pass because there's nothing coming the other way or whatever. I'll wave them by. Go ahead and go. Because some of them get impatient and they try to pass at the wrong time. Now, some of them will signal and let you know, I'm turning right away, and I look and I see them, then that's fine. Just ignore. I keep riding. But I don't want cars following me. Let them go on. I want the traffic to keep moving. I try my best to stay out of the main flow when necessary. You know, only when I have to do I become a part of the main traffic. If I'm turning left or it's unsafe and I need them to wait, and then I use hand signals and I communicate with them. They're not the enemy. They're your neighbors. They share this planet with us. We need to all kind of cooperate. Maybe Abby didn't see him. I don't know. But that was the guy that let us in by moving his truck forward so the gate could open. Let him go on by. Because certain neighborhoods, the people get upset. But there used to be a neighborhood where they would have like almost like a training race. And you know how cyclists are when they're going hard. They don't want to stop for stop signs or anything. And it bothered the neighborhood to the point where they complained, and so the police would camp out there to make sure the cyclists would stop, because they can't tell you to not use the road because it's a public road. But it just hassled you to the point where most people, and to this day, the ride has kind of died out. But most people don't want to be bothered with that. I don't get on my bike to be harassed. So cyclists just stop going to that place called Woodbine in our area. It's a nice little, I think 5 or 6 mile circuit. But it was interfering with the people who live there. I mean, they got to go to the store, they got to go home, whatever. If you're becoming if you become an impediment, then you're not going to be popular in the area. They're not going to want to see cyclists in the area. So most of the places where I train, especially when I'm solo, I get to know the people that are outside, you know, whether they're doing their lawn or walking their dogs. I give them plenty of room. Like when they're walking the dogs, I go to the other side of the road as I go by and wave, you know. Just, you know, we need to set the right example. So this neighborhood is very nice because it's always quiet. It's very safe to ride through here because the speeds are low. They have speed bumps, as you see. You will see some of them in a little bit. We have to go over them too, but they keep the traffic calm. And they got nice little lumps. So in this area, when you say we're going through the neighborhood, everybody knows it's Grand Lake Estates. You can ride for long stretches without having to stop too often. Most of these intersections, what we do is we watch. If there's a car, we'll stop. If nothing's coming, we check, we just roll. Because most of them are like three ways. The streets to the left, dead end into them. You can see in the distance, beautiful, in both directions. See the road going up here. I like to come through here because you don't have to mentally push yourself. You can decide, okay, every time it goes up, I'm going to push. And then on the downhill, you can shift up and keep working if you choose to. I think that was Laura that was pulling. She pulled off. Laura was not 100%. She said that on Thursday before this ride, she couldn't keep anything down. She had a bit of a cold, so she was on a liquid diet. She loves climbing. The pirate. The purple queen. Laura is very resilient. You drop her in the middle of the desert, she'll find her way home. El Pirata. Yeah, Paul Longa did not make this ride. So we didn't see him on this ride. I did not ride on Saturday the week before, the week after the ride you saw. So I skipped a week with the group, and then this week my form is coming along nicely. You have to know how to train. I like what Doug is wearing. His shoe covers matches his jersey. Those are the speed bumps. You have to slow down. If you don't, your undercarriage will let you know. They're very effective. This road is called the Hills Parkway. It's gonna go by a little road called Linda's Place in about maybe a kilometer, and then it kicks up. It's a nice little bump. And in this stretch, you're going into the wind. We came out here on New Year's Day with Mo, and it was just fast. You know, wind or no wind, we're just going. He definitely gets you out of your comfort zone, but you know, sometimes that's what it takes, depending on what your goals are. I was surprised to see Mike pull in. I think Mike is at the front. Okay, he pulled off. A little bump after Linda's Place, and it continues. See the watts are up 4%. They're staying on the wheels. Head unit saying the hill just ended. So the road's going to descend here, and really, I'm just going to kind of soft pedal. You can see the watts are very low. Like I'm not even pedaling here. Because once we get around that curve, it kicks up, and then we get to the gate. That's the little speed bump. And you can see my shadow. I just sit and I spin. Close to 100 RPMs. So we approach, the gate is closed. We figure we either wait on a car or somebody's going to climb the gate and use the code on the other side. There is no keypad inside here. So I don't know what you did the last couple of weekends, but this is me getting back to group cycling. Remember, get your K's in and keep all the doctors fired.
Wait for a car. Oh man, that's the skeleton fence. Wait for a car.
Should be a car along soon.
Somebody to go over?
Yeah, somebody, well, these are cars.
Pound 8550.
The smallest man. Abby, you got